As I did not conduct any research, so I explain the introduction, objectives, and the materials and methods of my proposed experiment. As we know, poultry production is very popular in worldwide, and they get popularities among the people for their role in breeding, the protein malnutrition, and the economic empowerment of the society. But for day-old-6 are the important starting material for the poultry production operation, and the success in poultry production operation, both egg production, meat production, depends on the quality of the chick they use for their operation. But the day-old chicks are the end product of poultry hatchery. So the poultry hatchery are responsible for the quality of chicks. But the poultry hatchery objectives is to produce higher number of marketable chicks and with homogeneity in chick quality. But previous research reported that the chick quality is not homogeneous in a batch. Though they produce egg collect from the same variety, same parental age, and incubate in the same condition, but their chick quality is not homogeneous. In 2003, Tona et al. Reported that the chick quality, homogeneity in chick quality depends on the spread of hatch. How long time the chicks are allowed to hatch. And they told that if the hatching time increase, spread of hatch increase, there is a possibility to deteriorate in the chick quality due to the if chick has for a long time, some chick has earlier and some chick has later. The earlier chicks get dehydrated and they are food deprived for a long time, and ultimately when they are using the poultry production system, they died within the first week, within 7 days, or their growth performance is not too well. So the poultry hatchery aims to reduce their spread of hatch. To do this, they allow the chick hatch for a particular time, around 30 to 36 hours, and then they discard the unhatched chicks. This reduces their hatchability. That means their ultimate goal, their profit is not reduce their profit. So they are trying to expect another alternative method. Using that, they can control the spread of hatch. So I conduct this research to find out the possible way how can we control the spread of hatch. And to do this, we first need to find out which factor affect the spread of hatch. Actually, the spread of hatch usually calculated from the hatching time of the individual egg, and the Tona et al. 2003 reported that the egg storage condition, storage duration, incubation temperature has effect on the hatching time of chick. But they did that for as partial experiment, and they gave their main focus on the effect of storage duration and incubation temperature on their hatchability and their post-hatch growth. And during this, they partially check the hatching time of chicks. But there is no database on how the storage duration and incubation temperature affect the spread of hatch. So we want to investigate the effect of storage duration and incubation temperature variation on spread of hatch. And the ultimate goal of our study is to develop a system which can predict the probable hatching time of individual egg. We have no experimental data, so we need to do some fundamental experiment to get the information how what is the effect of storage duration and the incubator temperature variation. So I want to conduct one research, first research, to investigate the effect of storage duration on spread of hash. And from this section I just describe the experimental procedure of this research, of this experiment. And the specific objective of this research to confirm the influence of egg storage duration on hatching time, and then to investigate the relationship between egg shell temperature and hatching time. This is my experimental plan. I explain my detailed plan step by step. And for this experiment, at first we need to prepare sample. What type of storage treatment we use for the experiment. I have a plan to use for storage duration egg to use this experiment, and for this I select this 3 days storage, 7 days storage, 10 days storage, and 14 days storage, and then we can use for incubation. And the incubation condition, in this experiment our goal to check the effect of storage duration. So we incubate the all egg at the standard incubation temperature, that means 37.8 degrees Celsius, and relative humidity 55%. And now which data and how we will collect. In this experiment I will measure the incubation air temperature and air velocity using the hot air anemometer and relative humidity. For measuring egg shell temperature, here I use thermal imaging technique and infrared thermometer. Embryonic development, for this we have a plan that we want to use the novel company developed system, and this is their patent, so we cannot explain about this. And hatching time, that means the time of hatch of individual egg after the incubation start. And these two data will be collected to check the incubation performance. Is it work properly or not? And another 3 data will be used for examine their effect of storage duration on spread of hatch. This is the image processing system. In using thermal imaging camera, we can take the image of 36 eggs at a time, and from the image we can measure the individual egg shell temperature like this. When we open the captured image with the infrared analyzer software provided with the thermal camera, then we can select individual egg using the individual egg, then we can get the individual egg shell temperature. This is very easy to measure the egg shell temperature, but if we want to use the another technique, thermometer, it is very time consuming and we cannot easily measure the all egg temperature. Our goal to analyze the effect of egg the storage effect and measure the egg shell temperature of individual egg and their hatching time. And here we also use the infrared thermometer to check is it in the accuracy of the thermal imaging technique to examine the accuracy of the measurement that we will get from the thermograph. And after that, after this, we use our collected data to analyze their effect. And we analyze data like this: the egg shell temperature as the embryonic development, and we hope my hypothesis there will be a positive relationship with the embryonic development. Will have a positive relationship with the egg shell temperature, and egg shell hatching time has a negative relationship with the egg shell temperature. And because incubation temperature have the influence on the metabolic rate of the embryo, but the metabolic rate of embryo also determines the growth rate of the embryo or development stage of the embryo. And if my hypothesis, if the embryo develop gradually, their respiration rate also be increased, and the egg shell temperature actually represent the embryo temperature. So I think there will be a positive relationship with the egg shell temperature, have a positive relationship with the embryonic development. And also the hatching time of egg depends on the development stage of the embryo. If the embryo develops fast, their hatching time will also be reduced. So I hope there will be a negative relationship. Okay, this is all. I have no data results.
Okay. 12 minutes, 30 seconds. Even no result.
Since I give focus on the methods, so here I give focus on the method, so it takes time. When I present any result, I will not explain every procedure of methods, how we conduct it.
Anyway, practice. Within the time. Okay. Any question?
In your first slide with experiment 1, you used two terms of egg storage time and then the incubation temperature.
Yes.
Because the egg, when it's being laid, is already a metabolic rate there, would it not be a function of both the temperature that the egg is experiencing during the pre-incubation period, as well as the time, and not just the time?
Again.
Okay, so when you put the egg into the incubator, you have noticed, you've said that because of its metabolic temperature, if there is a constant temperature, then the hatching time will be shortened.
Right.
So that metabolic process doesn't start when it goes into the incubation rate. It already starts at the start of laying the egg.
Right.
So the temperature that the egg experiences during the storage period is going to have a very important effect at what stage that egg is when it's being put into the incubator.
Yes, Sensei. Here I want to examine the effect on the storage duration and incubation temperature, but we not consider the incubation storage temperature or storage condition, because if the egg stores below 16 degrees Celsius temperature and 80% relative humidity, their embryonic storage is nearly stopped, and there will be no further and their growth will be stopped. So
you show that?
No,
that?
sir.
So that's a very important thing.
Okay.
You have to show.
Their growth will be stopped. So I think there will, if growth is stopped, there will be no metabolic process.
Okay. Is it a on-off process?
Yes.
above that temperature, is there not an optimal?
Yes.
So you just said that 18 degrees it stops.
Yes.
But above 18, is it better at
There
20
will be,
degrees
yes.
or at 22 degrees? Or is it all the same?
No, there is some effect. There will be pre-incubation, and if the pre-incubation occur before setting the incubation, if that egg set in the incubator due to the temperature stress, there is possibility to death of the embryo. So before incubation, the current practice they store the egg below the 16 degrees centigrade temperature to stop their growth. Yes.
Anyone else? No question?
It's showing the number 9. What rank of temperature you plan to have the data? The minimum temperature and the maximum temperature. Here, you have.
Yes,
Yeah.
I at first I explained here the setting temperature. Here, the incubation temperature is this.
But that's only one temperature. How can you get the graph?
For getting the individual temperature, for making graph of the based on the temperature, we need to monitor the temperature of egg every day until the chick hatch. So, we use everyday data.
You mean the temperature of the eggshell will change?
Yes, with the development of embryo, the cell temperature gradually rises.
Yeah. What rate the temperature will be?
Sometimes it depends on the stage of development. If the 21 days is required to produce chick from a hatching egg, from day 1 to day 7, at that period the embryo egg cell temperature is lower than the incubation temperature, and after that the growing process of the embryo gradually increase. So at that, sometimes this egg cell temperature rise above this around, in some case 5 degrees Celsius, some case 4 degrees Celsius, and if they frequently adjust, maybe 2 degrees.
Did you rotate the egg position?
There is automatic system in the incubator. So every 1 hour interval, egg rotate 45 degrees Celsius. Sorry, 45 degree.
You were talking about some monitoring stage, or control stage.
No, sir, since monitoring
That's a
stage.
monitoring.
Yes.
So how many conditions you prepare? That is just a 37.8 degree.
Here is at first I want to monitor the effect of storage duration.
But number 9, yeah, Usman said number 9.
Yes.
Show us. Eggshell temperature coming down, hatching time is earlier. That's right. Right.
Yes. Hatching time will be earlier.
This is some control result.
No, sir.
No?
No, sir. Not control result.
So that means not uniform.
Yes.
In the
Incubator.
Incubator.
Yes.
But you don't intentionally control, set the temperature. So just leave all eggs in the incubator. So
And we need to frequently check, and then we have to adjust the incubator setting temperature. That I show you.
So that means 37.8.
8, sometimes below,
That is the
sometimes
setting temperature.
setting temperature.
Then
If
actual temperature is how much difference in that?
it depends on the incubator
But
efficiency. It may be sometimes
okay.
depends 0.2 degrees Celsius or sometimes
that's
1
okay,
degree.
just nothing to do for that.
Yes. For that, I want to check the actual air temperature that used for warm up the egg.
So incidentally, this egg has higher temperature.
Hi.
Another egg has a lower temperature. That's okay because you change the storage time. So you have to make some plan. Longer storage eggs need the
higher
temperature or something. You leave it just put in the incubator, so you cannot.
Since I just first try to examine their effect, how storage duration affect on the hatching time, or how the actual temperature increase if the storage time increase, like this. And then
Or you may be able to set the another temperature, 38 degrees or 37
yes,
degrees. Oh, you do that?
if
You will do?
we can set this in the incubator, we can change the setting.
I can't understand where, but I think you have to tell us more details. Maybe discuss for the plan.
Thank you very much. I think it's very interesting because you want to observe the individual egg cell temperature
Yes.
and then the community development. Because you said like you control the incubator temperature, humidity. So we assume that this controlled and we can maintain this.
Yes.
So it means from the outside, the heat is the same. So the only difference is from the embryonic
Yes.
development.
Yes.
So what do you think about the range? The difference between one individual egg cell? Because I consider about if the range is not the difference is not so big, but about the resolution of your camera, it can distinguish this out. This is the question.
Our camera resolution is 0.1,
What about the range
1 degree Celsius.
between the egg? Because for the outside we control the temperature, so from the outside is almost the same. So the only difference is the embryonic development.
Yes, yes. Depending on the stage of development, egg cell temperature usually vary from 30, sometimes 36 to 39 degrees Celsius, this range. And in some cases, the incubator does not work properly. This temperature sometimes go over 40 degrees Celsius, and some cases below, like this. Understand?
Yes, but if the development is, so to say, we start the hatching process is the same time.
Yes.
The process might be, the difference is not so big, I think. Not in this case, in this range, maybe the difference is 3 degrees. So maybe it's okay, we can observe. But if the difference might be 0.5 or something, maybe it's not easy.
We have no actual data, so we need some fundamental experiment.
Okay, I thank you. Okay, thank you very much.